Howdy, y'all. I've had a few issues tonight. Hello, Lenny. Good to see you, cousin. There we go. I'm having a few issues with StreamYards tonight. I just want y'all to know that it wasn't me running late. I've been here for the last 10 minutes trying to get this to start, but I've had some issues. Anyway, oh, Freebird. Hello, Allie. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. We're going to wait for a few more people that I'm expecting to see tonight. Good to see you, Lenny. Wingspan, thank you for being here. Guys, a couple of things on my mind that I've been watching in the news. Um, there are things that have been going on in our world that Albi is even here. Thank you for joining us. There's a few things that I'd like to point out to you. I've brought this up before. I've always said that history repeats itself. Well, it is in the process of doing that again. I'm a student of history. I've written books on history. I'm a I'm an amateur historian. Um, has anybody noticed the price of gold lately? In the last year, it has doubled in value. What does that tell you? It tells you our nation's about this far away from collapsing. They keep printing more dollars, but it's not worth the paper it's printed on. Hold on a second here. Excuse me there for a minute. Having some issues with my breathing today. Hey, Claire, thank you for being here. Anyway, Jocko, thank you for being here. Oklahoma Outlaw. Guys, the point I'm making here is we've seen it happen with Spain. That's how Rome died. I'm an Italian. I'm kind of it's kind of close to home for me. The writing is on the wall. We're not only in the middle of we're about ready to watch the bubble burst. And it's a bigger bubble than just what we saw in 2008. I collect gold and silver for a reason. It has nothing to do with making it. It is an investment, but it's an investment in a future that isn't guaranteed. Did anybody can you? It's good to see you too. By the way, Granny Pixie One is Janine Graham. Thank you for being here, Janine. I really appreciate it. Anyway, hello, Claire. Good to see you too. Anyway, the point I'm making is the writing's on the wall. I've seen it coming for a very long time. I own a gold mine that I can't go get the gold from. It costs too much money to go get it. When I sold my 10% of the take from my gold mine in Alaska in 1987, and it was in concentrates. It wasn't. We didn't smelt it down. It wasn't in bars. It was in concentrates. It was black sand, and it had to be. It had to be refined and smelted. I sold it for $149 an ounce. $140 an ounce. Made $36,000 in that 10%. Tells you how many coffee cans of black sand I had to turn in. That's a bunch. but I made a good chunk of change. Imagine what that would be worth today. That same amount of gold at $4,000 an ounce, 4,100, I think it was this morning. Point I'm making is when gold, there are countries like China and Russia, Brazil, they're all trying to get off the US dollar. It's where they call the BRICS nations. They're trying to start trading in their own currency instead of the US dollar because the world trades on the US dollar right now. We control the market. They've been working for years to gather as much gold as they possibly can. China is the biggest consumer of gold right now. They mine gold right here in the United States. The Chinese government mines gold right here in the United States. They don't even process it here. They take the raw ore back to China, process. They get gold from right here. There's one right here in this county that I live in, where they're taking the gold, raw ore, and shipping it to China. Yeah, it would be quadruple, Lenny. It would be. It's just the point I'm making here is I guess part of my message all along has been about we're not in control as long as I don't have my wallet on me. As long as we're held up by the green, we're wage slaves. As long as we have to survive by the greenbacks, we're in trouble. We're in trouble no matter what we do unless we start hedging our bets. I collect raw gold when I can. I go out and pan for it. Collect what I can. I also have gold coins and silver coins. Anything before 1964 in a U.S. currency, 1964, 9%. The way you can check that is hold a magnet against it. Ooh, that was crazy. What was that? Okay, that just went crazy. But you hold a magnet up against it. If it holds up against a magnet that attacks it, it's not silver. Yeah, that was a good glitch. Um, did anybody, speaking of glitches, did anybody see the aurora borealis last night, the northern lights? And if you, this is another one. Anyway, we are part of my issues we're having with my broadcast. Exactly, Lenny. You and I both know it. This glitch is part of those what that northern lights. It wasn't just Clinton and it wasn't just Obama. It's been going on since Truman. Truman started laying the groundwork for it. Eisenhower did just followed up behind it. That's right. They just they're just because they're the president and their unofficial label is leader of the free world. No, they're bought and paid for. I had a relative invited to speak. at the World Economic Forum a few years back, and I wanted to slap him because he has the same education I do. But I had no idea that this relative was also a member of the Skull and Bones from Harvard. Yes, she does. Yes, she does rock. I'm glad to have her here. Anyway, the point I'm making is our economic world is about to crash down around us. Um, it'll make 1929 look like a day in the park. There's an old saying: the higher you fly, the farther you have to fall. We're flying pretty high right now. We have a long ways to fall. That fall isn't what hurts you. It's that sudden stop at the bottom. The point I'm making here is think of it this way. We just went through a geomagnetic storm because the Earth's magnetic shield has been weakened, and it is weakening, and it's a proven point. You can see that with NASA reports. It's scientifically backed up. And my friend, uh, I can find her name again. I've got to get used to that one. Anyway, my friend Granny Pixie, as an example, is we've been watching this for years. Um, uh, Space Weather News is a good channel for you to get your space weather news, and NASA is also starting to report space weather news. If that had been directed directly at us, it would have knocked out all the power grids. It would have started knocking out the power grid. It would have started knocking out satellite communications. It would have started knocking out GPS. Anything in space will be affected first. Anything in orbit is going to be affected before it hits the ground. But it'll all affect us. I know some people are losing interest in what I have to say here, but the point is we're running out of time. We need to prep. I'm not a prepper, but I have a bug out bag. I'm ready to go if I have to. I have everything I might need, plus spare food. But if I need to buy something, I'd better buy it now because later that dollar's not going to pay for whatever I might need down the road. If there's no electricity, there is no dollar. Hey, East Carbon, it's good to see you, buddy. Without electricity, there's no running water. There's no heat. There's no ATMs. There's no cell phones. There's no internet. Nothing works. What are you going to do to survive? I know that's a tall order for some people to think about, but even without that happening, with the bubble, the financial bubble that's about to burst, all by itself will put us back. Like I said, it'll make 1929, the crash of 1929, look like a day in the park. Exactly, exactly, Lenny. It's, my father lived through that. My father was from Brooklyn. Well, he's from Sicily, but he grew up in Brooklyn. He watched it. He told me the story. I've seen this. There are things in our history books they don't tell you about. Here's a propaganda story straight out of your history book. We all know of the 300 at Sinopoli, right? It's only 300? No, there's almost 3,000. Half of them were slaves. It's supposed to be a demonstration of defiance over tyranny, a fight for freedom by one of the greatest oppressors in the Greek region. The point is history's written by the victors. I've said that before as well. Look at what they're not telling us in the news. I don't listen to broadcast news. I don't listen to network news. I get my news all on my own. I know where to look, and I know what to look for. Anyway, guys, I want to keep this short because I keep having glitches here. I don't know how the picture's turning out. It's not so bad. Not so bad. Anyway, guys, these are just a little food for thought. Oh, and as far as my news channel is concerned, our government finally decided to get back to work, so maybe I'll be getting my licensing package from the state government, so I can actually get things licensed and up and running. It's good to see you, East Carbon. Thank you for being here, buddy. Thank you for being here, guys. I love y'all. I'm working on everything. I've got 2 or 3 stories already in the editing phase. I'm putting them together. Um, I have I'm learning, but I'm getting better as I'm going. I'll be releasing the intro video for the news channel probably in about a week, and I'll just release that just open release. It'll be there when it's up. It's up and running. All it is going to be the intro for the it'll be the intro and the intro music. Um, Tyrants beware. Help me with the music. He's always he's always good to help with the music. Love y'all. Be safe out there. Remember, prepare for the future. It's not written yet. You can use the past to tell you what might be happening ahead, because that does repeat. It is repeating. The bubble's about to burst. You need to start preparing. Prepare to survive. Best way to do that, foods that'll last you a while. I love you guys. Y'all stay safe out there.